Good afternoon. Welcome. I'm Jessica Hentoff, Jessica the Circus Lady from Circus Harmony. And this is our weekly Up in the Air live stream, graciously hosted by City Museum. City Museum is the home of Circus Harmony, and they've just extended their hours as we're getting ready for spring. So don't forget to go to City Museum's website, which is citymuseum.org, to check out the hours. They're now open Thursday through Sunday. It's spacious, everybody wears masks. There's still plenty to do at City Museum. We're not yet doing shows there, but we are getting closer and closer. And many times when you're there, if you look into our ring, you can see our classes, because we are currently holding regular class, well, micro classes, so 3 people at a time, and also private and semi-private lessons. So today on the Up in the Air live stream, we have a very special guest. For several years, he was a coach for Circus Harmony. He has partnered with Kellen Quinn, who was on 2 episodes ago, and he went to school with Kellen and Danielle, who were the last 2 episodes at École Nationale de Cirque in Montreal, where we currently have 4 students studying. And one of them, Isabella Majan, will be next week's act. But while we're waiting for people to come on, I am going to show you a video of our guests performing with 7 fingers. Now, our special guest today is Sereno Aguillar Izzo. We call him Reno. He is a juggler from Mexico. Coincident, I'll just show you. And this was the act that he performed with 7 fingers show Passengers. If you've been watching this show, you know that I am a techno peasant. So we just hope that I can actually do the technology. And the better I get at technology, see, not so good. The better I get at technology, the closer we are to the end of the pandemic. So I do know that things get a little choppy when we show video here. But enjoy. You can also find this online. Sereno Aguillar Izzo in Passengers in 7 fingers. Meanwhile, text your friends, tell them to tune in.
Y Estados Unidos, donde ya saben lo que es el muro.
Ya lo tenemos el muro.
Casi todos lo tienen claro. Que sea la solución. Quedarnos con la frente en alto, no somos criminales, no somos criminales, no somos las personas que vienen a buscar hacer mal a los demás. A buscar hacer mal a los demás.
Gato Bugán, los 7 dedos en la mano, de Montreal al mundo entero. Soy un loco más en la locomotora que se subió al tren en la hora de la hora, agachándome cuando pasa el túnel, durmiendo en el techo, soñando de un motel. Para mí la vida es día a día, algo de magia sofisticada, dando la pinta, cambios de aguja, la meta queda al final de la línea. No hay aduana para los luchadores, cruzando muros, mundos, lugares. La pelota tiene buen rebote y mejor rumba en el vagón de equipaje. Súbete al tren que te cuente mi novela, imagen contraria al maestro Azuela. Los de abajo tienen cabina y los pobres son los que están hasta arriba. Peligroso, la neta queda bien todo luminoso. Oiga, oiga, querido público, su billete de función se volvió de pasajero. Al detrás del transporte, somos de los buenos del contraespionaje. Código pared, rima con sabotaje. Queman 7 dedos cada vez que voy de viaje. No pierdas conexión, bájate, bro, en la buena estación. La vida tiene ritmo, como el varón que te alegra y agita ese corazón. Montreal, al mundo entero. 2018, 2019.
And that was Sereno, Aguillar, Izzo with Seven Finger Show Passengers. And we're very excited to have him as our guest here today. He was touring the world with that show when COVID hit. Let's see where he is now and where he's going. So, drum roll, please. Yay, it worked. Hooray!
Hello.
Hello, are you in a log cabin somewhere?
Yeah, exactly. That is exactly where I am.
And where are you zooming in from?
I'm in Vermont right now.
Okay, and as we know, the internet is sketchy there, so hopefully this will work. So
I think it should. Yes.
I hope so. So your mother and I actually went to the same college, State University of New York at Purchase, where I started my circus career. We weren't in the same year, so we didn't know each other, but we had mutual friends. And the year that Kellen, who was our guest a couple of weeks ago, went to audition at École Nationale de Cirque, you were also auditioning. And I found out through some of our mutual friends. But when Kellen came back, it's very hard to get into ENC. It's harder than Yale or Harvard. And there are very few spots for each discipline. And he said there was another really good juggler there. And I'm like, well, what do you think? He's like, he was great. I hope he gets in. And you both got in.
Yeah. And we were roommates for 4 years after that.
Yeah. And so how did you end up, so you grew up in Mexico?
Yes, I was born in New York City because that's where my mom is from. But I grew up in Mexico in actually my father's circus, not circus school. He had a theater school, but a lot of his students that came to study theater did circus, and because
And
of
your
that, that's
father is?
Sigfrido Aguilar. And he auditioned to be, he wanted to be a clown, so he auditioned to the Ringling School of Clowns, and they didn't accept him because they wanted him to be a teacher, but he really wanted to be a part of the touring show. He really wanted the whole experience of traveling with the circus, so he actually said no to that job, and he went on to doing his own thing. So he
And
I'm not exact
he's like world renowned as a physical
yeah,
comedy teacher, really.
yeah, yeah, his thing is physical comedy, so I'm not a technically second generation circus artist, but there's some connection on my father's side to the circus for sure, and that's why I'm doing circus, is because of him. Yeah.
And but how did you, clearly you also are a physical comedian, but primarily you're known as a juggler. Although I should mention in the
Yes.
show, you also did aerial work, which is funny to those of us who know you and know that
Yes.
is not your favorite place to be.
Hmm. Exactly. No, I never thought I was going to be working as an aerial artist. That was something that I can tick off my to-do list. But
And it was a
I started,
beautiful act because it
yeah,
combined aerial artistry and banking. So your
hmm,
partner was literally thrown up to you, and then you would drop her on purpose to people who would catch her, and back and forth.
exactly,
Gorgeous.
exactly. No, I love that act. It was one of my favorite acts of the whole show. But I started juggling because my father had, like I mentioned, a lot of students that came from the circus world that they wanted to improve their presence on stage, or they wanted to have more experience with just physical comedy. So I was introduced to a lot of jugglers, a lot of aerialists. There was a lot of tightrope walkers. So there was, in general, I feel like a pretty big connection to the circus, and that's why I sometimes feel like I've been involved in circus since a young age. Um,
Absolutely.
but I didn't go to any kind of like youth circus, or I didn't take any circus classes. I would juggle, I would practice for myself, and like once a week I would have a class with it would depend on who was there at the time, some of my father's students. And I did Diablo, I did Devil Stick, I did juggling, I even did poi, I did like everything you can imagine that had to do with juggling. um
So how did you learn about ENC?
at a certain point, it was just, I realized that I could go to school for this, and I never really wanted to go to college for anything else, and this was really something I loved. So I was like, where are the schools that you can go to for a circus? And I knew that there was
You're
some in
we can hear you,
Quebec.
but your face
I know
is,
it was back in Montreal, and there was some in.
now you're back.
Sorry, did I disconnect?
No,
My
we can
bad.
still hear you, but your face is,
Uh,
so you were looking up different circus schools and found out about the one in Montreal.
yeah, and I think by word of mouth, it was clear to me that Montreal was the best school in America, and it seemed to be one of the, like, definitely one of the best in the world. So I was like, I want to go there. And I actually auditioned. I auditioned once before I auditioned with Kellen. I didn't get accepted. I get past the second day, since they had to cut people every day,
The
and
4 day,
that kind of really,
yeah.
yeah, and that really, if it was interesting, since I got to audition with the other biological son, Keaton,
Uh-huh.
and we were auditioning, since he was auditioning from Miss Niveau to first year, and I was just auditioning to get into the school. And yeah, that really fueled me. I didn't get discouraged at all, if anything. I just came back with, like, I was like, okay, I have
You
to go
didn't
to
know
this.
about Kellen then, and you didn't know that Keaton was related to Kellen, did you?
I didn't know, no, I didn't know anything about Kellen. I knew Kellen because of his juggling videos online, and actually I was really scared of auditioning with him because I thought he was an incredible juggler, and I really look up to him because at that time Kellen was putting out a lot of juggling videos, and he was really well known in the juggling community. And yeah, it was
So you
definitely
didn't make the
intimidating.
connection between Keaton and Kellen?
No,
Because
no,
Kellen
no.
uses the last name Quinn. How funny.
Yeah,
And
but
then when you went there and you found out you were auditioning with him, what happened?
I was very scared. But in general, the auditions at ENC are a little scary. They're very intimidating. They're
And
very
then
long. So I think at the end of the day, I was less scared of Kellen and just
you were
being
scared of the
intimidated.
whole process.
Yeah, exactly. But
Did
the
you
first
start to
thing that
bond then? Because he seemed to really think highly of you when he came back.
Yeah, I definitely thought really highly of him. The first question he asked me was what is my favorite ice cream? And I answered vanilla, and that didn't seem to impress him whatsoever. He thought that that was a very boring answer, and I don't remember what he said his favorite ice cream was, but yeah, that was our first interaction, and I liked the question, so I liked that that was his first question. So I think we liked each other from the beginning.
And then it
Uh,
was a mutual friend in New York who wrote to me because you went to New York afterwards. It was John Townsend, who's a
Yeah.
renowned clown teacher as well, physical comedy teacher, and said, "Guess who's staying here?"
Yeah,
And then the
and
rest is
and
history.
I've heard. Yeah, I've heard, yeah, every time that Kellen either goes there or I go to stay with John, we always message each other and we let each other know that we're there because yeah, we have that friend in common.
You guys got to go back. He
But
just got a place in upstate New York, and he's building a gorgeous studio. I saw the plans.
oh my goodness. Is
Yep.
it a studio like a
For
theater studio
juggling,
or
for circus.
okay,
Yeah.
that's great. That's fantastic.
So you're right now.
But
You're in Vermont. Is that right?
yes. Yes, Vermont is where my girlfriend Chloe lives, which she also does circus, and we're both currently waiting to get on the Seven Fingers cruise ship, which is currently on hold because of the pandemic, and they're seeing when they're going to get the green light from the CDC to that everything is safe and that we can go on.
And that's a Virgin Atlantic. It's Seven Fingers provides the entertainment, but it's a Virgin.
Yes, exactly.
Company.
Yeah, it's Virgin Voyages is the cruise ship. Oh, no, I think that the cruise ship is called
And
the
anybody
Scarlet.
listening, when it's safe to go on cruise ships, somebody should send me on that cruise because it
Yeah,
sounds
that
amazing and
would
the
be great.
artists are amazing.
Yeah, that would be great. We keep inviting all the people that we know that they should come on
None
the
of the
cruise with
people you
us.
know
But
can afford that cruise.
yeah, and also no one really feels like they should be taking a cruise right now, which is why we're currently on hold to go on the cruise. But yes,
And
this is
aren't you
why
supposed to also be touring on that cruise with another Circus Harmony alumni? Isn't Melvin?
yes,
So Melvin Diggs will also be
I'm
there. So
supposed to be
everybody's by your
touring with Melvin, who is someone I never got to work with, but someone that I know well because of my connection to Circus Harmony and because he's.
and because he
Sorry, I
used to,
think I cut out. Are you still there?
yeah, that you knew about Melvin because of your connection to Circus Harmony, and he's been in he and
Yeah.
Sid Henry King did Seven
Yeah.
Fingers.
Yeah, and in general, all of Circus Harmony's students are really well known in ENC and in general in the greater circus world. So they're kind
Well,
of
and all
famous. So
circus weaves together. You know, it really does.
yeah,
And the people who start two of the fingers on Seven Fingers, I worked with on Circus Flora years ago when Eliana was first born. So
yeah,
circus, people describe circus like a river, and it branches off
hmm
and then it flows back together. And that's why
exactly.
on this show, you're on this show because you're part of the Circus Harmony family, even though you grew up in Mexico and you're not here right now, you're still part of the family
Yeah, thank you.
forever.
Thank you for that. And I mean, being part of the Circus
Maple
Harmony
misses
family is
you.
really, I miss them. I miss all the kids. The kids in Circus Harmony are great. Yeah.
I said Maple, but the kids miss you too.
Oh,
But
sorry.
dog
My bad. I bet the kids, yeah, they don't miss me.
miss you very much. No, and in fact, when we end this interview, you helped us this year when we did the balancing act, walking a pandemic tightrope, or it's kind of like a documentary about circus at this particular moment in time. You choreographed a juggling act for us, a Zoom juggling act.
Yeah.
It was challenging because it was before Zoom. Now you can move the squares around with your finger.
Oh my goodness. I can't
Right,
even
we couldn't
imagine.
do it
Yeah.
then, and so it was trying to turn it off, turn them on in order, and yeah, it would have been easier now.
Yeah.
But I'm going to
Yeah.
show that juggling video.
Yeah, that was a very challenging experience, but it was great to see the kids. It was great to see how they were doing during the pandemic. And I mean, everyone was facing a lot of challenges during that time. So I think it was a great way to show and for the kids to show that. But yes, the larger documentary that I was a part of, I really enjoyed. I didn't even know there was going to be such a big production since I was kind of just focusing on my little part, but it was beautiful. And yeah, it really moved me. I enjoyed it a lot.
Thank you. And people can see it. There's a link and it's on our YouTube page, The Balancing Act. We're about to come up with something else that I think you're really going to like. We're creating this interactive cookbook.
Mm-hmm.
And since all you ENC kids are really into cooking and eating, There are some
Yes.
very interesting recipes. Yeah,
I
and
can't
each recipe is paired with a circus act.
I can't wait to see that. That's great. Yeah, I love food. I love traveling and new cuisines, and circus and food really intertwines for me. And so I think that that's a great show. And that fact that it's a virtual cooking book is it's fantastic. Yeah.
It's like when we did the balancing act, that was unlike anything we've ever done before, because now is a time unlike any we've ever been in before. And then we were looking for the next project, and we were talking about what motivates people. Like, how do you stay motivated now to practice? We're going to answer that in a minute. But
Hmm.
while I was talking to my students online about it, Eliana called to see what I wanted from the grocery store, and they started shouting out what I wanted, which wasn't. Then they then they said food motivates us, and
Hmm.
then the
Yeah.
but what motivates you? It's really hard to practice now for almost a year. And
Hmm.
where were you when the pandemic hit?
I was in France. I really forget the city I was in since we had just gotten there, and it was a really small city. But we were doing a tour in the middle of France, and things started getting really bad. And yeah, they sent us home like in a matter of like days that
Have you seen
we
Keaton?
were there.
Keaton was with Circa Contemporary Circus. They were also touring in France, and they just barely made it back to Australia before the borders closed.
Hmm. I think we had messaged each other, and we both knew that we were in France, but we didn't get a chance to see each other. But yeah, so I
What
went
keeps you
back to
motivated to keep practicing now?
the good thing about juggling is that I can practice a lot easier than a lot of circus disciplines. So I can practice anywhere. But what keeps me motivated is that I really view this as it's what I love to do, but it's also my job. It's my craft. And I feel that it is my responsibility in this time that I'm not working to use the time to get as good as I can in my craft, because I feel like it'll put me in a better position when the pandemic is not here and we have jobs are opening up and people are looking for jugglers, and maybe I'll be in a better position because I spent all this time training. But it was hard. I definitely took like a week off, like
A
I think
week
like a
off in a
week.
year. Gosh.
Yeah, but I mean, juggling is something you can just pick up and do. But I took a week off and I really thought, okay, this is a really weird time. Juggling is a really weird thing that I'm spending my time doing. I didn't feel like I was helping anybody by doing it, but it's really when you get to perform, when you get to make people laugh, when you get to just be in front of an audience, it's really different than being by yourself. And I just have to keep reminding myself that that was the goal, that I wanted to become a better performer. I wanted to be a better juggler. And yeah, and I really love it. And that's what made me keep going. Yeah.
And I think people are so hungry for live entertainment.
Hmm.
Really. I
Yeah.
mean, they watch it online. I'm glad they watch it online. We had over 1,000 people saw the balancing act so far, and
Hmm.
they can still be watching it. But yeah, and
Yeah.
making people laugh is huge. And the thing
Hmm.
about you and Kellen that I think is really different is you are both technically phenomenal jugglers, but also funny.
Mm.
And
Yeah.
that combination of amazing and amusing is fabulous.
Exactly. Exactly. And I think, well, the comedy definitely comes from my dad. It comes from living with Kellen for 4 years, and just like the I was
Yeah, that'll
exposed to
do it.
yeah, it was exposed. I was exposed from a very young age to thing like movies from Buster Keaton, movies from the Marx Brothers, Charlie Chaplin, and physical comedy is something that I've been trying to explore with more and to mesh it more with juggling. And I think that the better you are at juggling, the more seamless that mesh can be between your body and juggling. So during this time of the pandemic, I just use it to get better at juggling so that it can be eventually like a flawless, like, so my comedy and my juggling won't seem so separate, that I can master juggling so that I can really bring the comedy forward without it seeming so like chopped up.
That makes sense to me. So when Virgin Voyages is taking reservations, let me know. I'll put it
Yes,
on all our social media so people can go see you and Melvin, and
for
somebody can
sure.
buy me a ticket because
We
I'll
can
need a
start a
vacation from the
we can
pandemic.
start a go we can start a GoFundMe for you to go on the
Oh,
cruise.
there you go. Right. You need to go on a cruise. That's pretty funny. So thank you so much for saying yes and coming on, and miss you terribly. Can't wait till you
Yeah.
can visit again.
I miss you so much. I miss your biological children. I miss your non-biologicals. Yeah, and I miss just being at Circus Harmony with that energy.
Well, the hole is still in the mat that you burned
Oh my
off
goodness.
the kettlebell. Who
I
knew that
was so
friction from a kettlebell could burn a hole? But we have all new mats in the ring. You got to come see our COVID safe mat.
I saw that they're
Same.
black, right?
Yeah, but the top, it's the same kind of foam, but the top is easy to clean.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I think that's the kind of mats we had on tour, that they're just easy to wipe down. Yeah.
So thank you.
Thank you,
I'm going to
Jessica.
show the Zoom act that you choreographed. It was so fun, and we could have done so much more. So maybe one day you can come back and choreograph a live show and give people some words of
Oh no,
encouragement. Because right now I'm the juggling teacher here, which is kind of,
that would be great.
yeah, people should sign up for juggling class. Tell them.
Yes, juggling is really useful. I mean, you might not think it's useful, but sometimes people need a passing act, and if you know how to juggle and someone needs someone to pass, then it happens a lot more than you think, that someone needs someone who knows how to juggle.
Right, can get you a job, but it's also a great stress reliever. It's fun, and like you said, it's something you
Yeah.
can do anywhere.
Mm-hmm.
You know,
Yeah,
3 balls in your pocket and you're good to go, or 8,
exactly.
or however many you're juggling these days. All right, well,
Yeah.
thank you very much, Reno. I look forward to seeing you again in person.
Thank you, Jessica. Yeah,
Bye.
me too. Say hi to everybody.
Absolutely.
Bye. Thank you.
And now you can, yep. And now we're gonna show you the act that Reno did for us for the balancing act, which was, here we go. Oh no, I had it all queued up and then I messed up the queuing up. This is what I mean about being a techno peasant. And after this, Maple's gonna do her trick of the day. I have such fond memories of having coffee with Kellen and Reno, and coffee is one of the recipes in the book, the Circus Harmony Interactive Cookbook. Oh dear. So hopefully Maple will brew some coffee. Let's start there. Oh, no, I've got to stop. Although that young man who just came on, Finn McNamee, we just found out he's a finalist with the St. Louis Teen Talent Competition. So bravo, Finn. And he's doing a chair balancing act, which you can also see in the Circus Harmony interactive cookbook show, because that whole cookbook, every recipe is paired with an act, and he does chair balancing for his soon to be famous Sesame Chicken act. And now we've come to the time, the awkward time where I move the computer down to the floor so we can bring Maple on. Now, last week, Maple did not feel like performing, so we'll see how she does this week. All right, Miss Maple. So, oh, she's awake. She's out of her house, so that's pretty good. Maple, we're gonna make coffee. Can you open that? Can you open it? Oh, can you open that? Show me. Well, I certainly help. All right, good girl. Could you go get the Maple? Go get the coffee filter. Go get it. No, bring it to me. Oh, that's not the filter, but that's good that you brought that. This is Circus Harmony's very own Defy Gravity coffee, which you can order fresh roasted, whole bean, Guatemalan, Colombian, really good coffee. Maple, bring me the filter right there. The filter. We need the filter. Yeah, bring it to me. Bring it to me. Bring me the filter. Oh, you're gonna bring me the whole cup? Okay, you can bring me the whole cup. She brought me my coffee. And can you grind the coffee for us, please? Can you grind it? Can you hear that? Grind the coffee. Good grinding. Thank you very much. So there's a special coffee recipe by me, and I drink a lot of coffee. It's Circus Harmony coffee, but I also add some special ingredients. So you're gonna wanna get that cookbook. Actually, the cookbook is totally free. For the Circus Harmony cookbook, you just have to go to the link. We're going to open that link on March 16th, the 1-year anniversary of the St. Louis COVID shutdown. Wait, I didn't start yet. So the link is there. It's also on our website. And now Miss Maple is going to jump through a fake fire. Also, you really want to see Maple and Georgie's Chinese shrimp recipe, which they got from my stepfather Speed and his best friend Magoo Lee. It's an amazing recipe, and it's paired with Maple and her friend Georgie, who plays the shrimp. All right, ready, Maple. Up. Good girl. Up. Good girl. Up. Here we go. The marvelous Miss Maple, the coffee grinding dog. So we're also trying to spread the word about this upcoming, Circus Harmony Interactive Cookbook. If you know anybody who eats, mostly everybody, or anybody who writes about food, or any reporters, please have them contact us. We'd like to tell them about this amusing, appetizing, amazing, creative culinary concoction, the Circus Harmony Interactive Cookbook. That's the end of the show today. Next week, my special guest is Isabella Majan, who came up through Circus Harmony and is a juggler now, training at École Nationale du Cirque. Thank you again to Reno for being our special guest. Don't forget to buy your Defy Gravity coffee. You can get it online. There's a link right there. And we'd be happy to ship it to you anywhere in the world, or if you're local, you could pick it up at City Museum, or maybe we'll even bring it to your house. Anyway, thank you very much for letting us make your day a circus day. Don't forget to visit us at circusharmony.org and follow us on Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, and YouTube, because we're giving some very fun little appetizers for the cookbook, which will be out March 16th. Bye.